Hello all, I am Miss Amruta Jadhav ma'am, your physics teacher. I am welcoming you all to the series of wave optics. And in that optics chapter we have covered part 1. And in that part we have covered many important points such as many theories which are related to light waves. Then we have seen the principle which is Huygens principle. We have seen the concepts like wavefront, wave normal, which are very important. I just wanted to let you know that all the concepts and all the theories which we have seen in part 1 are very important and we are going to implant it in today's part. So my request you to all that please go through that, please go through the principle which we have seen again, so that you will come to know what is there inside this part. Unless you are not getting the first part, you will not understand the second part. Okay, so for that, let us remind what we have done. Yes, wave theories of light. We have seen corpuscular theory, we have seen wave theory of Huygens, that both we have seen. Then we have seen primary and secondary source of light. What was that? Primary sources of light was that sources of light which emit light by their own. Because of what? Because of either high temperature or by effect of current being passed through it, or by chemical or nuclear reaction which comes over it. This is nothing but primary source. And what are the examples of that? Sun, stars, object heated to high temperature, TV, tube light, bulbs, etc., firecrackers. These all are the examples of primary source of light. Then which are the examples and what is a secondary source of light? Secondary source of light are those sources of light which do not emit light by their own, but they are under influence of other light sources, such as moon has been taken light by sun, all the other planets, stars, they do not have light by their own, but they took light or take light by others and then it starts to emit. So these are the secondary sources of light. Alright, so then next point, wavefronts. There are actually three types of wavefronts: spherical, plane and cylindrical. But in studies we are going to see only spherical and plane. Cylindrical we are not going to see. So what is meaning of wavefront exactly? It is the locus of all the points having the same phase at a given instant of time is called wavefront. Spherical and plane, these are diagrammatically we can say it is spherical and it is plane. Now the last and very important point which we have covered in last lecture, which is Huygens principle. And what is Huygens principle? This is related to wavefront and wavelets. Alright, so in Huygens principle, or before going towards Huygens principle, we have to know concepts related to wave theory and wavefronts as well. Alright, so Huygens principle states as each point on a wavefront acts as a secondary source of light, emitting secondary light waves called wavelets, and these are morely effective in forward directions. The new wavefront can be obtained by taking envelope of these secondary wavelets traveling in forward direction, and is thus envelope of the secondary wavelets in forward direction. The wavelets traveling in backward direction are ineffective. This is principle. You cannot skip any one of the point. You cannot put any other word in that. You have to learn this principle as it is. This may ask for 2 marks. Alright, again I am repeating Huygens principle, that is each point on a wavefront acts as a secondary source of light, emitting secondary light waves called wavelets in all directions, which travel with the speed of light in the medium. The new wavefront can be obtained by taking envelope of these secondary wavelets traveling in the forward direction and is thus the envelope of secondary wavelets in forward direction. The wavelets traveling in backward direction are ineffective. Okay, in this what we have to come to know that all the points which are there on the wavefront will act like a secondary source, and what the secondary source actually does, they try to emit light waves in all possible directions, but that should be in only forward direction because backward direction is ineffective. All right, so all the points will be behave like secondary source and they will emit light waves and they will create a new wavelet, and that wavelet can be obtained by taking envelope all of this, and that envelope will be secondary wavelet and that will be in forward direction. So this is all about Huygens principle. Okay, now as we have seen the wavefront which is spherical and plane, we are going to construct or study more detail about spherical and plane wavefront by using Huygens principle. So let's move towards the next, which we are going to see what points we are going to cover in this part. So the first point that we are going to cover is construction of spherical wavefront, or some details about spherical wavefront you can say. Construction of plane wavefront, reflection of light at plane wavefront, refraction of light at plane surface, dependence of wavelength on the refractive index of the medium. How the wavelength depends on the refractive index of medium, that we are going to see. Either it goes on increases or decreases as the refractive index changes, that we are going to see in this part. Okay, so let's move towards the first point, which is construction of spherical as well as plane wavefront. Now to move towards this, let us see a diagram first. Here is the diagram. This is the diagram for plane wavefront and this is the diagram for spherical wavefront. Now I am not going to read all this point, I am just going to tell you how this creates. Alright, so for purpose of notes all points are here. Okay, so let's move towards the explanation of plane wavefront. So see, in this diagram you can see AB is the primary wavefront. Alright, given wavefront is this AB and it is at time t is equal to 0. Now by using Huygens principle we can decide either it is spherical or it is a plane wavefront, because the shape and position will be considered later. Okay, so let's consider first at time t is equal to 0, AB is the primary source and it is emitting light wave. After time t, what happens, it will try to emit light wave in forward direction. The points which are there on AB, they behaves like secondary source and tries to emit light wave in all possible directions, especially in forward directions. The point which is emitted will, you can see they are like hemispheres. Alright, so they covered some distance after time t. So what is the distance which is covered by this in time t? So let us see. As you know, velocity of light, we are going to consider it as v over here, sorry. So velocity is nothing but distance upon time. So by using that formula you can shuffle the terms and we can get the formula for distance. So the formula for distance from the formula of velocity will be distance is equal to velocity into time. So the distance which is travelled by this light in time t will be radius of this hemisphere, and that is nothing but v into t, because velocity of light is v and t is the time, final time. Initial timing was 0 and final timing is t over here. So as we are going to take envelope of all this hemisphere, so by taking this we are getting the secondary wavelet which is A dash B dash. So this is nothing but wavefront after time t. These all are secondary wavelets which are in hemispherical form, and by taking envelope of all of this we are getting wavefront which is after time t. So this is nothing but plane wavefront. Okay. So similarly we are going to see for spherical wavefront. Even in spherical wavefront you can see AB. See over here, AB is the wavefront which is primary. Here is the source which emits light waves. Then the points which are there on AB will behave like secondary source of light, and they will start to emit light wave in all possible direction, but that is only in forward direction. And even in this also, the wavelets emitted in forward directions by point on AB will be hemispherical. So all of this also hemispheres. Okay, and even these are traveling by distance v into t. By taking envelope of all of this point we are getting secondary or wavefront which is after time t. So this is nothing but spherical in nature. So this is spherical wavefront and this is plane wavefront. Okay, I hope you all got this. It is very easy to understand. AB is primary in both the cases. All the points which are there on AB will start to emit light wave in forward direction, and that creates hemispheres, and with the radius of v into t, because we are going to say that is after time t. So to take the envelope of all of these points which are there on hemisphere, we are getting the new wavefront which is after time t. So in this way we are getting plane wavefront, and in this way we are getting spherical wavefront. Okay, so this is all about spherical and plane wavefront. Now main concept in this, which is reflection of light which is at plane surface. Moving towards this, before moving, you all have to pay concentrate at this diagram. You have to pay concentrate at this diagram, because all these points I am going to explain, but this will be very theoretical. You have to look at the diagram, then only you will come to know how exactly the reflection occurs. All right, so please pay attention on the diagram. I will explain how the reflection of light takes place at the plane surface. Okay, even in this, see, as reflection word is there, what happens in reflection when light falls on any surface, when it comes back in the same medium, it is called as reflection. There are many laws which are related to reflection. Some of them are Snell's law, then laws related to reflection. We are going to verify all these law by using this reflection of light point. Okay, so let's quickly move towards the point which is reflection of light at plane surface. Okay, here you can see Mn is the surface on which light is going to incident. Mn is the surface on which light is going to incident. AB, here AB is a plane wavefront which is perpendicular to the plane of paper. Okay, I is the incident angle, R should be reflected angle. We are going to draw normal, which is AP. AP is normal to this MN, or AC you can say. Okay, this AB, which is the wavefront, is bounded by two rays which are RA and QB. These are the two rays which are being giving AB as wavefront. Alright. So this is basics about this diagram. Now what happens when AB is a wavefront? What Huygens principle tells us, all the points which are there on wavefront will behave like secondary source of light, and they will start to emit light wave in all possible directions. But what happens in this case? They will reflect. So this is what we are going to see in this. So see, as AB is wavefront, R and QB are incidence rays by which AB forms. Now we are going to assume that incident wavefront AB touches the surface at t is equal to 0. Okay, now from this diagram you can see A touches the surface first and then B, right? So we are going to see A touches the surface at t is equal to 0 and B will be reaching to point C after time t. So that will be capital T. But between time t is equal to 0 and t is equal to t, there will be number of reflection occurs, right? Because of this AB wavefront, because the points which are there on AB will already started emitting light wave, as they are say that we are secondary source of light and we are going to emit light waves in all directions. So they already started emitting between time t is equal to 0 and time t is equal to capital T. Okay, so as they are sending out light waves, obviously they will create hemispheres, right? For reflection, the hemisphere will be in what? In the same side, because they will not going to go on another side, because it is a reflection. So all the hemisphere which are forming will be in the same side. Okay, and the wavelets emitted by point A, the wavelets emitted by point A will be having radius Vt. Again, the points which we have covered in the last slide, we are going to apply that point over here. So this is only application. All right, so the points or the wavelet which are emitted by A having radius Vt at time t, and the radius which is emitted by C will be what? 0, because at time t is equal to 0, A already started emitting, but B has not reached to point C. So B will not emitting anything. So here it will be 0. Okay, the radii of wavelets emitted by point A and C, or between A and C, will gradually decrease from Vt to 0. Why is this so? Tell me. Because A is reaching point first and then B is reaching towards the plane surface at point C. So in between them, wavelets are already forming in form of hemisphere. As B touches to C, there will be no reflection occurs. Reflection has been over. So the radii of wavelets emitted between point A and C will be gradually decreasing from Vt to 0. Now the envelope of these wavelets will be what? Forming secondary wavefront or reflected wavefront, we can say. Correct. So this is given by EC. This. In similar way, see, in previous we have seen here, we have took a line on that hemispheres and we get the wavefront. In a similar way, we are going to draw a line on that. Because of that, we are getting a wavefront. So that line is nothing but C. We are going to imagine only hemispheres are here, there, but we are not drawing anything, so as to consider the angles and the triangles which are there inside this diagram. So we are not going to draw hemisphere like there in plane wavefront and spherical wavefront. All right, you are going to imagine that many hemispheres are formed, and this is the normal on that, or envelope. To take the envelope, we are going to draw this CE, which is nothing but common tangent to the reflected wavelets. All right, so obviously in diagram you can see AE and BC. What are they? AE, that will be distance covered or the radius of hemisphere, which is Vt. So what will be BC? Again, here will be a hemisphere forming. Here is also a hemisphere forming in this way. I will show you. In this way. First hemisphere, and in this way second hemisphere. Alright. So AE and BC will be same because they are covering a distance. Yes, obviously VT, the distance traveled by light in same medium. And AE is what? AE is direction of propagation of reflected wave, and which is normal to MN. Then you can see AP over here. AP is perpendicular to what? AC. Now you are going to see which are the angles and how they form. See, RAP is nothing but angle of incidence. Then PAE, in between them is one angle which got reflected ray, so that will be R. BAC will be obviously incident because the wavefront is incidenting on plane surface MN. Then which is get reflected? This is got reflected, so this angle will be R. So by considering two triangles, which triangle we are going to consider? Let us see. As in diagram you can say AC is common in both the triangles, and AE and BC are same. So one side is common, one side is same. So we can say these both angles are equal, as the triangles AEC and ABC are congruent to each other. So we can say I is equal to R, which is law of reflection. And also it is clear that you can see in the diagram, over here, the incident ray, the reflected ray and normal, all three are lie on same plane, which is plane of paper. So this is also other law of reflection. So we are getting this as law of reflection, which is I is equal to R. Here, law of reflection. Now here, have a look in this diagram again. Okay, after looking at the diagram, we are going to consider A and B are considered to be right and left side of the object respectively. Suppose we are considering AB as an object. A is to the right and B is to the left. Okay, as we look into the mirror, what will happen? After reflection, right side of A will be at E because light has been reflected. So right side at A seen at point E, and left side of B will be seen at point C. Okay, as now right side has become left and left has become right. So this is nothing but internal inversion. Again I am repeating this. If A is at right and B is at left, after reflection B will come towards point C, which is on the plane, and A will comes to C at point E after reflection. So here you can see, firstly A was on plane surface and B is on the other side, and now it has been reversed. So this is nothing but internal inversion or lateral inversion. Okay, so this is what you have seen in this. And what does the size of object will be by the reflected? That will be same as actual size of the object. Either the object is got reflected, but the size will be same as before, actual size. Okay, so we are going to consider AB as the size of object, that will be same. Okay, so this is all about reflection, and now we are going to move towards refraction, which is going to prove a very own Snell's law. Okay, so let's move towards that. Let's see what is that. In the same way, we are going to see this. Okay, by considering AB as a wavefront which is bounded by A dash A and B dash B, as A reaches point E in another medium in time t is equal to 0, B will be reaching point C at time t. Okay, so as the point A is going to another medium, it will change the velocity. So in first medium, velocity will be v1, and in the same second medium, the velocity will be v2. Okay, so you are going to consider angle of incidence and angle of refraction over here. So from diagram you can say A dash AP, obviously it is incidence angle because it is the normal, and the angle between incident ray and normal is nothing but angle of incidence. So this is the angle of incidence, even this is angle of incidence, and when it got reflected to another medium, the angle with respect to normal will be angle of refraction. So this is R. What is the distance covered? Like again, in this case also, the hemisphere is forming in this way. So the hemisphere will be having distance or radius v2t. So this will be v2t. Alright. So, and the velocity which is v1 in the first medium. So we are going to consider two triangles over here again, as like in reflection. We are going to consider ABC as the first triangle, and second triangle is AEC. So AC is common between them. Alright, we have seen already what is I and what is R. As B is reaching towards C in time t with velocity v1, it will get refracted. So this will be the refracted angle R. Okay, so we are going to consider sine of both this angle. By looking at two triangles, what will be sine I over here? Sine I is nothing but opposite side divided by hypotenuse. So opposite side of I is nothing but v1t and hypotenuse is AC. Similarly, in case of R, sine R will be opposite side divided by hypotenuse. So we are getting sine I is equal to v1t divided by AC, and sine R is equal to v2t divided by AC. By dividing both the equations, we are getting, as AC and TT will get cancelled, we are getting V1 by V2. Now by considering in this way, C by V2 divided by C by V1. So what will be that? It is nothing but refractive index. It is N2 divided by N1. As formula for N is nothing but C divided by V. So we have rearranged that terms in this way. So you are getting sin I by sin R is equal to N2 upon N1, or N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R, where N1 and N2 are absolute refractive indices of medium 1 and medium 2 respectively. So what is this? This is nothing but Snell's law. Okay. So in case of refraction, what we have seen? Snell's law. So this is all about refraction of light. And in this, very important part that we have to consider is the refracted image will not be inverted. Alright. A refracted image is not inverted. Okay. And it is not broken also. It seems to be broken, but it is not broken. This will be as it is. Okay. So this is about refraction. As you come to know all about reflection, you will be able to describe refraction of light. Okay. So now moving towards the very last point of this is dependence of wavelength on the refractive index of the medium. It is very easy, and you all actually knows these terms. So let's move towards it very quickly. Dependence of wavelength. Okay. You can have a look to both the diagrams. First diagram is nothing but, suppose consider PQ is the interface between two mediums or boundary between the rarer and denser medium. One of them is rarer and second one medium is denser medium. Okay, and number of wavefronts are going to incident on the plane surface or boundary of that interface. By considering light to be monochromatic, wavelength will be same. So that is the meaning of monochromatic light. Why we are considering monochromatic? Because the wavelength will be same. Okay, so the distance between AB, CD and EF will be lambda 1 because they are having same wavelength, and it is in first medium. After refraction they will be having AB dash, CD dash and E dash F dash, that will be having wavelength lambda 2. Now as AB is falling on PQ, it will move towards in forward direction to the another medium. Now we are going to consider the first medium is rarer and second medium is denser. So what happens to these wavefronts? The speed of wavefronts or speed of these waves A, B, C, D and E, F will be higher than to compared in this. So what happens to the speed? It goes on decreases. As the speed goes on decreases, they will be very closely packed to one another. They are covering very small distance as compared to this. Here you can see the distance between them is larger as compared to this. Why is it so? Because the medium is denser. Speed of light will be smaller. So the wavefront will move slower and they covering same distance but in more time. Okay. So let us see. So the spacing between them is very small as compared to the spacing between here in first medium, which is rare medium. So let us consider what happens to the time period. Okay. So let wavefront AB reach the boundary surface PQ at time t is equal to 0, and next wavefront CD, which is at distance lambda 1 from AB, will reach at t is equal to t. We are going to consider a final time as 0 and initial time as 0 and final time as t. Then for medium 1, what will be time t? That will be lambda 1 by V1 obviously. Again by using the same formula, t is equal to lambda 1 by V1, and in medium 2 what will be t? T will be lambda 2 by V2. Lambda 1 is the wavelength of light in rarer medium. Lambda 2 is wavelength of light in denser medium. V1 and V2 are the velocities of light in rarer and denser medium respectively. From above equation we can equate, as the LHS of this is same, so we can equate the RHS. So you are getting lambda 1 by V1 is equal to lambda 2 by V2, and by rearranging the terms we are getting lambda 2 is equal to lambda 1 V2 upon V1. But V2 upon V1 is nothing but N1 by N2 by law of refraction. So we are getting for medium 1, if we consider medium 1 to be vacuum, lambda will be lambda 0 and this V will be nothing but C. So here lambda is equal to, lambda 1 is vacuum, alright. So lambda is equal to, instead of lambda 1 we are going to say it as lambda 0 V2 divided by, instead of V1 it will be C, which is nothing but lambda 0 divided by N. So the ratio of frequencies V1 and V2 of these waves of two medium can be written as V1 by V2 is equal to V1 by lambda 1 into V2 by lambda 1 is equal to 1. So this demonstrates that the frequency of wave remains unchanged while going from one medium to another. Frequency will be unchanged, but what is goes on changing? Wavelength will goes on changing because it is traveling from one medium to another. So that's why we are saying at lambda 1 and lambda 2 or lambda and lambda 0. Alright, but what remains same? Frequency will be same. Okay, because frequency of wave is initial property or fundamental property which does not change while going from one medium to another. The speed and the wavelength of wave do change and are inversely proportional to refractive index, right, of the second medium with respect to first. So what we have seen in this is speed and wavelength of waves are inversely proportional to the refractive indices and frequency will not change. So this is all about dependence of wavelength and dependence of frequency also. Okay, as you can see A, B, C, D, E, F, you can say G, H, M, N, many more waves you can emit. Okay, so frequency will not change, but what will change? Wavelength and speed will be changing from medium to medium. Okay, so what points we have covered today? The points which are construction of spherical wavefront and plane wavefront, reflection and refraction of light, and dependence of wavelength and even frequency on refractive index of the medium. So thank you so much for watching.